So this is currently all we have for our gym. So yesterday I did arms and I got a good feel in my triceps, but biceps are still so difficult, but they also heal super fast. Like it's very difficult to push my biceps to the point where they actually start growing now. But yeah, today's gonna be shoulders, and I think it's gonna be a good one. So first we're doing what I'm calling super lateral raises. I've never done this before, where you reach higher than parallel. You apparently can just reach to parallel, and that's perfectly fine. But I thought I would try the harder variant. And then as far as where my thumb placement is, there are two options, neither of which is arguably better than one another. But if you have your pinky slightly inclined higher than your thumb, as you'll see I do in the last few sets, or last few reps, apparently that targets the middle delt more, whereas if your thumb is higher, it targets the front delt more. It's kind of superfluous and doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to try it out. And we're gonna be doing 4 sets, 10 each. Now you'll see that I also do a little bit of a trick where we only drop at kind of a 45-degree angle before going right into the next rep. That is killing me. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that consistently for all of the reps. But the trick is that with this particular exercise, you can't get a good stretch on your shoulder anyway. And in the down right position, it doesn't really matter whether or not we go all the way to the strict standing pose or we just press right out of a 45-degree, because the only way that you can get a good stretch on your elbow is with a cable machine, not that one. So the main trick that my new workouts focus on is failure is when you have 3 reps in reserve, just because apparently that's better. I've been watching a lot of, I think it's called RP Renaissance on YouTube, but it's Mike Israetel, and the man is a genius. Basically, we get to lower the weight considerably, which reduces injury risk. And because we're focusing on that long eccentric movement and all of that other crap, it basically is training parts of the muscle that you wouldn't normally train if you're just doing explosive all the time and cheating. So that's also reducing injury risk, which I like. And then a lot of the shoulder stuff that I'm doing today is kind of just based on experimentation. He recommends that you kind of just try and find not only what works, but also based on like hand position and all elbow position and all that. It's about what's most comfortable for you. And basically you go until you have 3 reps in reserve, and then you match that for a total of 4 sets. So anyways, my brain is dying, so I got one more set of that, and then we're on to the next exercise. Also, sorry for the crappy phone angles. I don't have like a cameraman or anything. So the other super important thing is quality over quantity. I mean, we are doing a higher quantity of reps than you would if you were lifting heavy, but you'll see that I'm regularly starting to pause in my last set. And that's just because we have to hit the rep range, or the rep amount that we set at the beginning. And now for my next set, I will make the weights disappear. This is my first time experimenting with this, where we basically do like a burnout set. So a last set of 10, focusing again, still as if we were doing it with weights. And my God, that hurt. Having no weights hurt more than it did having the weights, bro. So this is the exercise that I call the Athlete X monkey row. It's a really, really odd one. As you can see, it takes me a while to get dialed in with my mind-muscle connection. I may drop this exercise if I can find a more efficient one, because whereas this exercise was hitting me pretty good the first few times I ever did it, which was months ago, if not a year ago, now it's just not as stimulating. But a lot of what my workouts do is this exercise is kind of lower weights, and most of all it's about the burnout. So this is kind of just really burning my back and mid delts for the sake of making it harder for the next set, the next like actual workout. But yeah, this is still a really good exercise. It just always, like every time I go into it fresh, it takes a while to dial in and actually make the reps count, because I'm always like, oh, am I leaning forward enough? Am I putting my arms in the right position? Like it's a bit overcomplicated. I like how I say that, and then you can just scratch everything I said off the record. I just had the weights too low. I was using 10 pounds because I was doing a drop set last time and I forgot. And now I'm up to 15 again, which that's the biggest thing. If you guys end up experimenting with my shoulder workout, trust me, if you leave your ego at the door, drop the weights, focus on high quality, slow on the decline, focus on that hypertrophy, the long stretch at the end, and just wait, which again, we can't really stretch the shoulders as much as we could other exercises, but when you're at the stretch, that's when it counts. It really tears at the muscle fiber, and it makes a huge difference. I keep on having to mentally psych myself whenever I get to the last few reps in a set to just be like, bro, this is where it counts. And because of the way that all these exercises are and how they really like push you to the limits, you're gonna have to lower the weights considerably. Like you can't do this with like 500 pounds and jump. We got one more set of this, and then the next exercise is going to kick my ass, because it always does. So up next, we actually have options. We can do an Arnold overhead press or just a normal overhead press, seated, of course. I'm gonna try not the Arnold, because the Arnold is a fantastic shoulder activator. But what I'm gonna be focusing on with this exercise in particular is a super deep stretch, touching the dumbbells to my shoulders if I possibly can, but I'm not sure how flexible I'm going to end up being with the exercise. All the same things that we talked about in today's video apply to all of these exercises, and you know, the reps have to be perfect or as close to, but I've never done this variation before, so I'm interested to see how it hits. I'll have to try and get a better camera angle in the next working set, but essentially, I thought I had to just press it down in front of me. What I noticed is I got a much better stretch on the delt by putting the dumbbell like right here in the middle delt, and on the end of the stretch, basically like going into that position, and that's the stopping position, but then letting it stretch out just a little bit more before I go back up. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That one burns, dude. I don't know whether or not I like it more than the Arnold press, but I think it's nice to have this variation where I can just decide between the two. I should have mentioned, but with my with the app, I have it all kind of color coded, just because that's how my brain works. And blue essentially is going to mean that I can do one or the other, but not both. Green means it's essential. I don't have all of them marked because I'm, again, still trying to like slowly dial them in and find out which ones feel good. But yeah, this one feels pretty good. That one was really hard, which means this last set's gonna be killer. I might have the weight up a little too high for this one, but that's okay, because this 25 pounds was set up for the Arnold press, which I guess I'm arguably stronger at, or rather it gives you a little bit of a break, whereas this one doesn't. The other thing to mention is between sets, I barely take a break, maybe up to like 10 seconds max, if that. This workout in general, because I'm recording all these clips in between everything, has actually made me take a longer break than normal. And it also has made it a little bit more difficult, because trying to remember to, focus on creating video clips and stuff is definitely different than just going straight for the workout and focusing on that in its entirety. Last set of the day, face pulls, which these are they can be done wrong very easily. But essentially we're gonna be doing the same, 4 sets of 10. I have it set to 3 bolts down on like the cable weight, which I don't know what that weight equals to. It might even just be something like 15 pounds, just because if each of them are 5 each. First camera angle I got was my butt. So this is actually a good weight. I thought at first, oh, this feels really light and easy. But of course, as we get to the later parts of the rep, I really started to feel cooked from all the other exercises that we ended up doing. The whole philosophy of quality over quantity is that you basically want to make each of your reps look like it's just a copy and paste. Like we cheated in editing and we're just doing the same clip over and over again. With this angle, maybe you'll be able to see it, but I'm actually a little bit away from the machine so that in that long stretch forward with my arms, the weights don't end up like resting on top of each other. So basically like my muscles are still continually under the strain and holding the weight even in the lowest position before we go right back into the next. I guess if I'm being perfectly honest, I could probably put the weight up by 1. That would have been much better through the entire set, like the entire amount of reps and sets and blah, blah, blah. So I'm gonna mark in the app. I actually do have one extra exercise that I like to add on, which is either 20 minutes in cardio, or because I'm lazy, I just go up to the 6th floor on the stairs, and then I just kind of end up going back down and then call it a day. I know that apparently it's not good to do cardio right after a workout because it stops the muscle growth. It's better to do cardio later in the day or at a different time period, okay, whatever. But honestly, the only reason I'm even doing the cardio is just because it's good for you, especially because I have a sedentary job sitting on my computer and my ass all day. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Smash like, sub for more. These videos are not going to be super common because it means that I basically got to do a not as good workout for the sake of making a video, but a lot of my exercises are very similar, focusing on the deep stretch and all that stuff. And so far, it's been making a huge difference just in the way that I feel, but that's my shoulder workout. So you can try it at home. Again, don't be afraid to lower the weights and stuff like that. Either way, I had fun. Hi, babies. Hi, babies. Hi, babies. Hi, Jojo. I know, I'm sorry I went to the gym. I'm so sorry I went to the gym. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I left you for the gym. I'm so sorry. Don't worry. I'm back now. Bye, Jub.